Greetings again, welcome to episode 2 from Triggy Taylors, talking about all things plant-based. As I mentioned before, I believe there's a revolution happening right now, the plant-based revolution. Yeah, power to the potato, viva veg. So yeah, it's a real revolution. People are switching, people are changing, and because of the coronavirus there seems to be a lot of a push for this, because they believe we can help avoid any future such pandemics. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Again, let me state that these are my opinions. I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a nutrition professional, I'm just somebody who has an interest in this. So if you need medical advice, or you're unsure about making the change, you're interested in making a change, speak to your doctor, speak to your pharmacist, find out more, do more research. I did. On that note, today I want to talk about a documentary that I watched that got me on my journey. Very cool documentary from a guy by the name of James Wilks, who's a combat expert. I believe for 15 plus years this guy has been training the US Marines, the US Marshals, Navy SEALs, so this guy really knows his stuff. Very cool, very impressive, good to watch. He makes a great host. He does a really good job of hosting the show, and the reason he actually started this was he had injured the ligaments in both his knees and was struggling to recover, so he wanted to find a way of doing this, and he had obviously heard about the whole plant-based thing, and this started him on his journey, so he made this documentary. Big name executive producers, you've all heard of James Cameron. He did Avatar and many other great movies. He also went down that massive trench in the Atlantic Ocean, deepest trench in the world. Him and his wife, they both got into the plant-based thing. They are executive producers. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who we all know and love. Jackie Chan, I'm a big fan. So a lot of big names behind this. They interview quite a few of them. Well, in fact, the one in particular that sticks in my mind is Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was always a massive meat pusher, so to speak. Being in his bodybuilding years and all those years ago, everybody believed that meat, protein, synonymous, end of story. That's where you got your protein from. So he always said meat, and the meat industry said meat, and eat like a man. That was actually a slogan. And when interviewed, he said if he had known about this years ago, he would have made the change then. And the cool thing is now we have so much more choice. I mean, there's some really good products out there that taste like the real deal. I had originally planned to do one of those products today, but I thought start where I started perhaps. If you watch this documentary, and it is called The Game Changers by James Wilks. The Game Changers by James Wilks. Check it out. I watched it on Netflix. I rewatched it a couple of nights ago just to prepare for this, and excellent information. Really impressed. There's a lot of technical jargon in the video, but very well explained, so I had no trouble following it, even little old me, so yeah, don't be perturbed by that. There was a nice personal touch. I thought his dad was quite a big part of this, because his dad obviously his dad had a heart problem, ended up having surgery, and they put a stent in his heart. I don't fully understand exactly what that means. I think it opens the arteries for increased blood flow, and his dad made the change, and apparently he's doing much better. So I like the real world studies, the people that they interviewed. There's a major strongman, Patrick Boubounian. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, it's a very different name, but this guy carried the most weight ever carried, not lifted, ever carried by any human. It's 550 or 550 kilograms, I'm not sure now. I saw 555 on one side and 550 on another, so it's between the two. Either way, it's a lot of weight, it's impressive. 10 meters, he carried it for 10 meters. And then there's Dotsie Bausch, who I mentioned in my previous video. Very cool, nice lady. At 39, oldest woman to stand on Olympic podium in her discipline, which is track cycling. Was about to retire, made the change, came back even stronger. I believe the team, this is the US team at the time, got a silver medal on this occasion. In the race that got them the medal, they were up against the Australians, and they were behind by a massive margin. Nobody has ever come back from this, and they indeed came back from this. and they beat the Australians in this race. So yeah, a lady at 39, not that it matters if she's a lady or not, anybody at 39 in the Olympics is impressive. But this lady did it on a plant-based diet. Apparently her teammates couldn't even keep up with it. You know, they would want to start training and she'd say, you know, come, let's go again. I'm like, enough is enough. Insane, man. Very impressive, very cool. I don't know about you guys, I'm a bit of a UFC fan, and we all know Conor McGregor, very impressive fighter, great fighter. He came up against a guy by the name of Deice, who was a vegetarian, and he made massive jokes, and he said, you know, the guy doesn't stand a chance because of his ridiculous diet. Anyway, in the fight, right in the very end, Diaz took the fight, took him by submission. McGregor said afterwards that it became a battle of energy, and he just didn't have the energy to step up, and Diaz did. Another big plus for the veg guys. So they talk about increased energy in a massive way. Wilks actually does, at his gym, there's something called battle ropes, two very thick ropes, quite long, that you sort of just whip in the gym. I don't know if you guys have tried it. Incredibly tough to do. Now, in his gym, if you get to 10 minutes on the battle ropes, your name goes on the wall. 20 minutes, there's a few guys. This guy goes in after a week on the plant-based diet. He does 1 hour. 1 hour. And then he got bored. He could have continued. So he said, I mean, the energy levels that he's experienced, massive. And I've had no issue. I do make sure that I get enough protein. So, you know, I slap a lot of beans in there. All these meat or faux meat products, they've got decent protein. So I do keep an eye on my protein intake. But I'm enjoying good energy. So, yeah, there you go. And I'm also no spring chicken, and I'm finding much better. I'll know more when I get back to a gym, because I've been on this and we've had this whole coronavirus thing going on. So gym has been out of the question, unfortunately, and it's going to be for a few more months. So I've been trying to do a little bit at home, but the real test will be when I'm back in the gym. That's for me. They talk about increased blood flow, and they do this rather odd test. A bunch of football players, well, I say a bunch, 3 guys, they wear this device on their man pot. All right, I don't want to get crass and too detailed. And then they sleep, and they are filmed as well. Now, this device measures when the man pot is standing at attention, shall we say. Anyway, it measures girth and duration and frequency and all that kind of thing. And they did this test before and after a week on the veg-based diet, and the frequency and the strength, etc., all increased massively. And you know, these guys were quite floored by the experience. So I'm not suggesting, or they're not suggesting that your testosterone levels increase. What they did say is it's the same either way. I mean, there's bodybuilders going into competitions on plant-based diets, and they're staying lean and eating as much as they want because it's all good product. So increased blood flow, excellent. That's good for all sorts of things. They talk about decreased arterial plaque. You know, black plaque on your teeth, your veins get plaque too. It's basically gunk that builds up and affects blood flow. And you know, this is when you start getting blood pressure issues. My reason for changing, and I've definitely moved in the right direction. I've been off the meds for a while, and watch the space. I'll keep you informed how that goes. Antioxidants, apparently 64 times higher in the veg-based diet than in the meat-based diet. So that's impressive. Reduced inflammation, faster recovery from injuries, which was his reason. As I said, he injured his ligaments in both knees, so he was looking for not a quick fix, but just a fix so he can get back in his game. I said before that I believed, you know, we were designed for eating meat, and I actually kind of had it wrong. After re-watching this video, they explain the teeth, a carnivore's teeth at the back, they're like blades for cutting the meat. Our teeth at the back, as you know, flat for grinding. They talk about our digestive tract being very long, and that is designed for digestion of vegetables. Apparently the carnivores is much shorter. So when I said before, I thought we were adapted to meat. It seems we are more adapted to meat, and using modern technology, they've been able to dissect, you know, bones from cavemen that they found in digs, archaeological digs, and it turns out that they were primarily vegetarians, which kind of makes sense. I mean, veg would have been easier to find, more frequent. Hunting would have been tougher, I mean, especially with primitive weaponry and tools. I mean, yeah, it just makes sense. They would have been eating more veg. So it does seem that our body's more designed that way. They also talk about increased glucose levels. Veg has got a lot more glucose now. If you don't know, glucose is brain food. That is what your brain needs to function. It's your brain, like proteins for muscles, glucose for brain. And this increases drastically in veg. So the only thing they do talk about that you have to, you know, find an outside source for is B12. They say you must supplement B12. But then they're doing that with animals anyway. We're not getting B12 from the meat as such. It's been given to the animal, and that's how we're getting it. So supplement with B12, they say. Apparently nothing else needs supplementing. So in conclusion, what I think of this video? Excellent. Like I said, oh, I don't know if I mentioned earlier on, my new rating system. I'm going to call it the potato rating system, or Max. Max Power is the name of my potato guy. So anything that is bad, 0 potatoes. Anything that is excellent, 5 potatoes. Or 0 max, 5 max. This video, I'm going to give it a straight up 5 max. Great video, well put together, good information, good research, good interviews, excellent, really good hosting by James. Super cool. I recommend the watch. Check it out. It might sway you as it did me. Once I watched that, I started doing more research, and that's put me on this whole vegan journey. I'm still new. I'm still working at it. I'm very happy. I eat a lot of burgers. I love burgers. I eat vegan burgers though, and excellent, man. The patties that I'm getting are really good. But we'll be reviewing all those products one by one in future episodes. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. I hope the information is useful. Join the revolution. Power to the potato. And please don't forget to like us. Post any comments below. Keep them clean, guys. Remember, there's other people reading as well. And subscribe, man. The more people, the merrier. So join us on our journey. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I've been your host, JG. See you next time. Live to eat or eat to live. Choice is yours. Take care.
One and only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I ate a lot of meat. They showed us commercials.
Steak. That's what a man eats.
Selling that idea that real men eat meat.
Serious man food.
But you got to understand, that's marketing. That's not based on reality.
I've been teaching fighting techniques to government agencies for more than 15 years. Then I got injured. Unable to teach for at least 6 months, I spent more than 1,000 hours studying science on recovery and nutrition, and stumbled across a study about the Roman gladiators.
The gladiators were predominantly vegetarian.
How could the original professional fighters be so powerful, eating only plants?
When I made the switch to a plant-based diet, I qualified for my 3rd Olympic team. I broke 2 American records. I was like, man, I should have done this a long while ago.
When I went plant-based, I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. And I actually became like a machine.
One of the biggest misconceptions in sports nutrition is that we have to have animal protein to perform at a high level. That's just not true.
Sometimes you have to do things that you know your competitors aren't doing.
Today's blood and yesterday's blood. Sam.
I think this is going to wake a lot of people up.
I was recovering better, not getting as sore. This was our best season in the last 15 years, and we had 14 guys on plant-based diets.
We all want to feel great, have more energy.
Cholesterol was 276. Today, 169.
Whoa, now you're talking.
Most guys my age can keep up with the grandchildren. My grandchildren can't keep up with me.
It's not one set of dietary guidelines for improving your performance as an athlete. another one for reversing heart disease, reversing diabetes. It's the same for all of them.
Someone asked me, how could you get as strong as an ox without eating any meat? And my answer was, have you ever seen an ox eating meat?